Welcome to JD Fantasy Football. This is David Lampson, and I'm joined by Jordan Cordova. Guys, we tried to get on TikTok just barely. Next week, we have to do a little more recording to unlock the guest feature, and I cannot do it without my guest, the expert, Jordan Cordova. What's up, man?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Man, it's been a good day. I'm ready for this weekend, though. The football is going to be incredible. We
Yeah.
already had an epic football game this week.
Who knew you would get a snowball showdown in the middle of November? So, hey, what a big surprise. Those are fun games to watch, though.
The last play of that game was complete madness. We had Pickens ending up in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
We had that hit on Russ. Like he got destroyed.
Yeah.
Like that whole game was crazy. It
It
was
was a nuts
awesome.
game. Good. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but good for a certain somebody who ends up playing pretty well there. So, yeah.
Yeah, Jameis Winston, born in Alabama. He's from Hueytown, which is just outside of Birmingham. And when Ash found that out, she was like, "Go Jameis."
Mm-hmm. Go Jameis. Hey, I think that was his first snow game he's ever played in his career.
That's true.
So, let's go. Get
All
a
right.
dub out of there.
Well, let's get this going like usual.
All right. We have the injury report coming up here. So, as of this week, Devontae Smith is officially out with a hamstring issue. Isaiah Pacheco is active off the IR, but he will not be playing this week. Andy Reid has already announced that. So, this will not be the week he's back, but I think next week's a good one to shoot for. Zamir White and Alexander Madison both doubtful for the game. Dalton Kincaid is out with a knee injury this week again. We have our man Mike Evans coming back from injury, which is awesome to see. He's going to boost that offense. Might hurt Otten or Rashid White, depending on who those receptions are going to be taken out of. But he is back, so happy for Mike Evans owners, and then Brock Purdy projected to be out with a shoulder injury. I guess they said that essentially they had the injury was pain related, and it was surprising to the player as well as the team. But he is out this week as well. So big implications on even in our fantasy league that I'll go over later on. So those are the injuries. But yeah,
I
who
got
do
the
you have
chat
for
up.
your? Oh, perfect.
So, yeah, hopefully people can join in.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, dude, I kind of already said it on the TikTok chat because I was trying to come up with stuff to say. But I'm pretty excited about my sleeper this week. Um,
Hopefully, we don't have the same one.
we've done it before.
Well, I think we're like a good out of like four or something like that on here.
I don't think we'll have the same one on this one, though. So, with 6 teams on the bye this week, try Keenan Allen, wide receiver 40, as a sleeper this week. Minnesota has a problem with giving up the deep ball, and that guy can make big plays. Allen has been getting a steady diet of targets. He gets about 7 targets per game, and the Bears will be throwing the ball to keep up with the Vikings offense. So I say give it up to Keenan Allen this week.
Okay, so we don't have the same. Love the Keenan Allen pick, but mine
Nice.
is Amir Abdullah. I don't have any stats for you essentially on this. Okay.
Okay.
But Madison and Zamir White are both doubtful. They could not play this week. He could be he is projected to be the number one guy out there. So he is, he could get a ton of touches in this game. I mean, Denver defense is tough, but you could have him roll into an end zone and get you a touchdown. If you're looking for a sleeper with waiver wires so deprived and so many teams on buys this week, you could take a shot at Amir here and see what happens.
Where is that game being played?
I don't know. I think it is in uh, Denver.
I like him. If they're in Denver, it, It's gonna be a
Yeah.
cold game.
No,
Yep.
it's in Las Vegas. It's in
Okay.
Vegas. Yeah.
Can he? I don't know anything about this guy. Can he catch passes?
Well, I think so. That's the nice thing about it is like there's not a ton of data on him because he's played like very little amount. So, and
Okay.
now they could still play. I mean, they are projected as doubtful. They do have projections, so they could still play, and this pick could be absolutely nothing. But if you're looking for a sleeper, taking a gamble, Amir Abdullah,
Okay.
pick him up and see what happens.
I like it. I like it. Who is your rising star? Who is your boom this week, Jordan?
My boom this week should come to no surprise, but it's no other than the great, the old Jonu Smith.
Okay.
This guy has 8 targets. He's got 6 catches for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. He figured out. So there was a mystery that I actually went over last week about the Miami Dolphins offense. And I was just saying that they were not good anymore. But I think I finally cracked it last game. It is not the fact that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle is not good. It is the fact that Tua is actually using every piece when Jonu Smith is one of those main pieces right now. The person who suffered the most, obviously, Jalen Waddle. And so Jonu Smith right now is going to be the second guy in this offense. And I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. So that is the mystery of the Miami Dolphins. They're just using everybody. It's not just Tyreek Hill and Devon Achane, or not Devon, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle that he's throwing to. So kind of affecting Tyreek Hill stealing, but he still got 19 points last week. But Jalen Waddle is still unplayable. It's the greatest mystery in football.
I like that call. And I think you're right because Miami's still been able to score points this season. They're just they're not as dependent on those big guys as they used to be. All right.
What about you?
Well, I've got a question for you. All right, I'm gonna give you a list: Marvin Harrison Jr., Roma Dunze, Brian Thomas Jr., Xavier Worthy, Xavier Legette, Ricky Pearsall, Keon Coleman. Who are these guys?
They are rookies.
They are all the guys that were drafted before Ladd McConkey. Malik Neighbors is the only guy that was drafted before him that has outperformed McConkey. McConkey is wide receiver 18 on the year. He boomed with 123 yards on 9 targets last week. He's a big play guy. He's had a 20-plus yard catch in 6 out of his last 7 games. Clearly a weapon in Los Angeles. Baltimore is likely to put Kyle Hamilton on him, which is advantage Chargers, in my opinion. If you're on the fence about Ladd, doubt no longer. Start him. Jordan, it has been an incredible year for rookies, but look for Ladd to build on what has been a tremendous rookie campaign. Dude, he's been sick for the Chargers. And Herbert's looked so good. And Ladd has looked so good. And in his interviews, he looks so confident. I'm so impressed with him. And that whole list of guys, I mean, they were picked ahead of him. Now, part of it's situation, a Dunze, obviously, but, Brian Thomas Jr. getting outperformed. I mean, he's got a quarterback. Anyway, it may just have been a better opportunity there with the Chargers just because they don't have as much depth as the Commanders have. But, yeah, I'm loving Ladd McConkey, man.
I am as well. So with that, who is your opposite? Who is your bust of this week?
You're not going to like it. You're not going to like my bust, man.
I already know who it is just off of what you said.
Matt Stafford.
No, that wasn't him. But
so Matt Stafford has scored fewer than 6 points 5 times this season. I mean, he's had a decent season. His offensive line has been an issue at times, but the Rams could be a playoff team. Last weekend, he went into Foxborough and he dropped 30 points. So that's his season high. But this is an anomaly, not a trend. The Eagles have the medicine for that offense. How elite is the Eagles' defense? They've given up an average of 125 passing yards in the last 3 games. They're destroying people. Last week, I praised Quinyon Mitchell. He's their rookie defender that's kicking butt. But they've also got Cooper DeJean, and he's a problem. They've got answers for Kupp and Nacua in the secondary. So I think Stafford is unplayable this week in fantasy football.
Yeah, I like it. I can see that being definite. It's weird that you're saying a quarterback because my bus is also a quarterback.
Okay.
People also probably aren't gonna like my pick, but my bust is Patrick Mahomes.
Oh boy.
He is a absolute legend, and do not get me wrong. Boy, I've said it many times. A perfect example of an amazing player, just not an amazing fantasy player. He's only had one game over this entire year over 20 points, and that game was 20.54. So it wasn't like it was an exceptional amount. He's thrown three touchdowns in two games, and even just the last game that he had a touchdown or three touchdowns, he threw two picks, got 13 points off of it. He's about 45% of the time this year, he has thrown only one or less touchdown. They win with defense, they win with running. And even though Mahomes is a great legend, could be a GOAT at the end of this all, he's also a very good clutch player that he does come through when the time is right. But for all fantasy purposes, he is not somebody that I would look to try to play week in, week out.
Even this week?
Even this week against Carolina, because I think they're
E-
going to run it down their throats. I think it's
Even
going to
against
be
Carolina, we can't trust Pat Mahomes.
yeah, well, like Carolina is like the worst running defense in the league. And if there's one thing we've realized from the Chiefs this year, yes, they do throw a lot when they're, in these heaters, but if they can just run the ball, they want to just run the ball. So I think it's a big week for Kareem Hunt, not such a big week for Patrick Mahomes.
I think the Chiefs should just rest him. I think they should give him a week off because they don't need him apparently, and keep him healthy for the playoffs.
I have half the mind to think that's what San Francisco's doing, even though it's a big game. I don't know. Brock Purdy's been having to throw a ton. So
That's
just
funny.
rest the guy. Rest the guy.
Yeah. Okay. Bust. Pat Mahomes.
All right. Yeah, I know. It's an arguable, like, people aren't gonna like that pick, but I said he was a good guy. I mentioned legend multiple times. I said make be the GOAT. I am giving him his props. He's a good quarterback, a professional quarterback, one of the best, but fantasy not so much.
Okay. Well, I like it, man. Well, let's get into matchups because we've got some interesting matchups this week.
Who do
You
want
want
to
to
start
do
with?
me and Taylor first?
Yeah, you
Okay.
and Taylor.
I'll take Taylor. Look, I could say, hey, I got Taylor with Bijan on a bye. I'm good to go. But that is not the case. Kelsey has Carolina. Disley has Baltimore. Terry has Dallas. And there's just little reason to believe that the Bears are going to slow the Vikings and Sam Darnold. So
Yeah.
Taylor did a really good job of managing this bye week. One other thing that stands out to me though is he's got Darnold just almost every week. It's you have to start him over Stroud. What is going on with Stroud?
Yeah.
Obviously, Stroud's against Tennessee this week, so he has to start Darnold. But compared to last year, he is in an absolute sophomore slump.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
What you got for me, man?
Well, I have two things for you. The first one, Kyron Williams. Can we please have the old Kyron Williams come back? If will the real Kyron Williams play stand up? Because since Cup and Nakua has been back, he has not gotten over 12 points in a game. He's not scored a touchdown in his last four after going on an absolute heater with 6 straight touchdown games. He's only gotten one catch in one of the last 3 games since they've been back, and one of them was 5 for 20 yards. So he really needs to turn it up this week. I think they'll be playing from behind, so it might not be a good week for him. But you're just really hoping he can roll into that end zone once or twice in the game.
I need it.
Yeah, and then Luke Schoonmaker. How do we not mention the horse, the elephant in the room? I think this is could be the change for this because it's only 8.6 what he's projected for. But when Ferguson got hurt last game, he was part of 53% of the snap shares. He has 10 targets, even though he only turned it from 6 receptions for 53 yards or 56 yards. The Cowboys are going to be down against the Commanders, so that they're going to have to be throwing. So I think Luke Schoonmaker could be the take, and I am taking you this week because of it.
Well, I'm taking Taylor because whenever I've been locked up with somebody where we're tied in points, I lose every time. So we're slated to get 112 points. There's no way. There's no way I'm winning that.
Th- This was where it changes. This is where you turn it around.
I like your energy. Well, let's talk about you and your wife, man. You go ahead and break down your wife real quick.
Well, she had to play Jerome Ford this week, so that was very unlucky. Um, but he only got her 3.7 this week. But lucky for her, I had to play Cedric Tillman, so I only ended up with 2.8. So it was a rough week on the waiver wire. So she kind of gets away with that this week, which is why she's now only projected to lose by 6. The other scary person on this team is Jackson Smith and Jigba. The last 2 games, even with DK Metcalf back, he has seen an averaging about 12 targets a game, over 100 yards, and over 20 points in each, with a monster 39 points 2 games ago. I
Hmm.
think he's starting to come alive. He's starting to get that chemistry. I think it could be a shootout in Arizona. So Jackson Smith and Jigba kind of scares me this week.
Well, he should because put the nail in the coffin in me last week. And I've been absolutely critical of JSN all year, and he comes out and gets 23 points on 11 targets and 110 yards. So he didn't even score,
Yeah,
and he got
no,
23 points. Like
yeah.
it was personal between me and him. Uh, let's see. I think if she sweeps this podcast, we owe her something. She gets me last week. Let's see if she gets you. But she did. She picked up Jerome Ford, who I dropped.
Yeah,
So I mean, he hasn't really produced.
no.
And it was a tough week. I don't know. I don't know about that call. Um, yes. Looking at Jordan though, dude, you have worked free agency so good. I was looking at your lineup. You have 3 dudes starting this week that you drafted.
Yeah.
You have really put together a nice team. I think James Conner is going to be big this weekend in a cold game. Might be a rainy game in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jacobs. If the Packers win, Josh Jacobs is going to have to run for 120 yards. Cortland Sutton's been booming. You're looking good, man. And obviously, Jaden Daniels, Saquon Barkley. This is just a nasty team. You're projected for 120. I think that's on the low side, and I think that she's gonna have a hard time with you. So I got Jordan this week.
Yeah, I have to take myself this week as well.
Yeah. Well, we got
Sorry,
to do it
baby.
just for the podcast sake. We can't go 0 for 2
can't,
against your wife,
can't
man.
get swept here.
Mm-mm.
So you want to go with Skip and Josh next?
Yeah, I got Josh. Um, Josh has a tough decision. I actually enjoyed this just thinking about it. So he's got to choose between Jordan Love against that 49ers defense and Geno Smith, who plays against Arizona's defense. Both of them playing outside in cold weather, a little rain in Seattle, maybe. Jordan Love is the right decision. And I know I wear a cheese head every once in a while. But I think the 49ers are going to have to respect the run game. I think the Packers are going to be run first, and that play action is going to be nasty. And also, Jordan's a little bit more mobile. Geno's a freaking statue, and he's had 5 interceptions in the last 3 games. Jordan's only had 3. It comes down to upside. Jordan's had more 20-plus games this season, and I think he'll carry Josh to another dub.
Yeah, I do too. But I think Skip has some real opportunities here. For one, he picked up Justin Herbert, which you
Yeah.
talked about previously. Your boy, he's finally looking fully healthy, looking fantastic. His last 4 games, he's gotten over 18 points per game. He's been running more during his game. He has Lad McConkey, who's playing him out of his mind. Quentin Johnson still playing really well. Joshua Palmer, even Will Disley, all people who are all getting catches and get fantasy. I mean, he's just looking good. He's almost becoming a starter week in and week out, and especially on a week where you think that Skip has to play someone outside of Josh Allen, where there's some people here playing Tommy DeVito. Somehow he sneaks Justin Herbert out of his back pocket to come in the clutch. Um, the other one here, Kareem Hunt. One more week with Kareem Hunt, because Andy Reid did say that Isaiah Pacheco was out. So we'll see what happens, how that split looks when if they're easing Pacheco back in when he does get back in. But as of right now, he's the full-time back. We've seen him get multiple. We've seen him get multiple good games here. He had one off week last week, but he's playing Carolina. What a team to get back on track with. So Kareem Hunt is it. So you know what? I am going to take Josh on this one, but it kind of scares me with Jonu Smith and uh, Justin Herbert, Kareem Hunt, Xavier Worthy. He's got so many people who could just pop off or not pop off. It's could be a 70-point week or a 145.
Mm. Josh
So
has laid some eggs lately. His team has really struggled.
hurting. Yeah.
Yeah.
DJ Moore kind of came back to earth.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of hurtful. And DeAndre Swift, even though he had a good game last few weeks, he's still he had a 7-point game week before 14-16. So DeAndre Swift's not playing the 20 to 28 points per game that he was getting in the middle of the season.
Well, your sleeper's playing.
Yes, my sleeper is playing. I have full faith in Mr. Smith here. Or no, not my sleeper, or not Mr. Smith. That's not my sleeper. I'm so sorry.
He's your boom. He's your
You're
boom.
talking, yeah, you're talking about Abdullah. That was my sleeper, right?
Lo Ciento.
So
Okay.
yeah.
That was a little late changing the game on that one. Yeah.
So the
Let's
next
see.
one, Cam and Caleb.
Oh yeah. Hold. Yeah, so Caleb versus Cam. Look out in an ugly, dirty, snowy Cleveland loss. Jalen Warren was huge for the Steelers. I learned that Jalen he played for Snow College
Oh,
in
really? In
undergrad.
Utah?
That was his first school he played for, so he's comfortable playing in that snow. I went to a Snow College basketball camp a couple times. There's nothing in
No.
Ephraim, Utah. Yeah, but he was ready. It was a tough divisional game. He got 3 catches for 19 yards. He averaged 4.1 yards per carry, and even with Najee doing okay, he crushed it. He did awesome. Here's an interesting one though, and this is kind of what I'm watching for Caleb. So Tony Pollard. I mean, Tony Pollard's been kind of a dud for Caleb, but he's got Garrett Wilson and Brian Thomas Jr. on a bye. He's relying on Pollard to do something he's only been able to do half the time, which is score more than 15 points. But he needs it. He absolutely needs it because Cam is ready for him. And of course, Cooper Kupp. He got Cooper Kupp from me recently. Cooper Kupp's up against that Philadelphia secondary, which I praised ad nauseum the last 2 weeks. Yeah, Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell. It's gonna be a problem for Cooper Kupp. So he needs to achieve against the grain a little bit. But yeah, I got Cam in this one. What do you got about Cam?
Cam's gonna get his first win this week. No offense, Caleb,
Yeah.
but it's gonna happen. The one rough part for poor Cam is he did get 7 from his defense. He did get 7 from Chris Boswell, who's one of the number 1 scorers now that the Cowboys suck, and Brandon Aubrey's not kicking field goals because they can't get in range. But Cameron could have started Nick Chubb on the 1 week. It's snow game. It's built for Nick Chubb to score here. He gets 19 points with 2 touchdowns. So that hurts, but I still think Cam can pull it out. He also has Mike Evans returning from injury. So he's going to suck up a lot of targets with Chris Godwin now. Baker Mayfield's probably been missing that target outside of going to Cade Otton, but I still think Cade Otton's going to be a big part of that offense. He's just going to play more of the Chris Godwin part of it. But Mike Evans is officially back. And I think the only rough part for Cam is I think Mitchell's going to go to Puka most of the game. So I think it still leaves Cooper Kupp for probably the one who's going to be the open the most.
I see. Well, yeah. I mean, it's pick your poison with those guys, but whoever they pick to get in the end zone is probably going to win this matchup.
Yeah, 100%. So now for another great game, we have the first place in the ice division, Daniel, against the fifth place, fighting for his life in the fire division, Ben.
I absolutely need Ben's team to lay an egg, and I see a path to my victory with Ben's defeat.
Yes.
First of all, he had the wrong Steelers to get the points out of that game. He had Pickens and Harris, so that cost him.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of them found the end zone. Pickens found the stands at the end of that game. Um, Najee, he was in a lot of predictable situations, and the Browns were just ready for him every time. I mean, they were in the backfield all day. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous. He's got Jawan Jennings on the bench. I agree with that. He might change his mind, but yeah, there's a lot of questions about Purdy this week. Brian Robinson Jr. is going to shine this week. Derrick Henry is going to do his regular thing, and Goff is a must start. So I think his lineup was pretty much a no brainer. I bet he's wishing he had that snowy game back.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I got Daniel here, and he doesn't. Ben doesn't have. Everyone thought it was Derrick Henry is who was going to carry his team, but it's actually the X factor who's on by Taysom Hill. So no one knows if he's a quarterback, a running back, or a receiver. He's kind of all of those things. So 45 points, why not?
All three phases. All
uh,
three phases.
So he played Jerry Judy. Jerry Judy has been on an absolute heater. He's gotten 2 11 target games before the snow game, and even then he caught all 6 passes in the snow. He was a great pickup, and way to stay patient for Daniel could actually pay off for him really well because he seems to be one of the favorite targets. The thing that might hurt him this week is Tommy DeVito. I saw there's Drake May. I probably take my chances with Drake May. But poor guy's got Joe Burrow. You think you draft two quarterbacks, Brock Purdy and Joe Burrow, and what are the chances the 1 week Brock Purdy's hurt is the week you need him for Joe Burrow on a bye? So that really sucks for him. But I still think he can pull off the win here. Although I do really like Ben's team. Um, I think I'm going to take Ben this week. Actually, I
Okay.
think Ben's going to sneak this one out.
All right. I mean, I definitely have Daniel. Yeah, but I like your takes, man. I like your
Yeah.
takes.
All right, and
Uh,
on to the final one here.
yeah.
So Mahomes versus the Bears. So I don't have very much for Mahomes this week. He's got four people on his bench on a bye. 5 people if you count Keon Coleman, although he's on the IR. So he's got so many people on the bench. He is Frankensteining a team in there. I don't mind the Elijah Moore pick because he has been getting a lot of targets, but man, he's had to play Elijah Moore, Alec Pierce, Tucker Craft, who Tucker Craft hasn't been good since the week that Skip played him against me to beat me. Uh, and the Chargers defense is playing the Baltimore offense, so that's a hard one. But you can't get rid of them because they're such a good defense. T. Higgins on bye, Dalton Kincaid on bye, Tyler Algier bye. Like you just don't have anyone to really come into this game. Tajee Spears is projected to be injured, so I don't have very much faith in him winning this week, even though Jalen Hurts, Devon Achane, and Kenneth Walker are all studs. But from there on down, not looking too good for him. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
taking the
agree with you.
Bears.
Yeah, I got the Bears winning too. I let go of Kate Otten because Mike Evans is coming back and he's
Mhm.
back, but Kate Otten should still do fine. Um, yeah, Giants. That's a total dumpster fire. They got Tampa Bay coming in. They're going to throw all over them. And then there is a little bit of drama though, and I don't think it'll matter because I think the Bears will win by a lot. But she has decided, or he, sorry, it says Rachel. Um, they've decided to start Roshan Johnson over Raheem Mostert or Cam Akers. That is such a homer pick. Like I can't even believe it. So
uh,
if you had to choose between Roshan Johnson and Mostert, they're both predicted 5.5. But who's got the higher upside? Mostert could get in the end zone 3 times.
I think it's actually the exact opposite. I think Roshan Johnson is a better pick here because I think he has proven to get goal line work away from DeAndre Swift. They like him in that red zone in that 5 yard line area. Minnesota's a tough defense, but I absolutely believe that if I'm choosing between one of these guys, I probably would go with Mr. Johnson myself. I
Okay.
think that's the best ceiling. Um, and in a week like this, you just go for that ceiling. I mean, you have to play a 5.5 running back because you have buys. You just take the gamble on the guy you think's got the biggest chance to roll into the end zone.
Like I said, I don't think she'll need it, but I like that we disagree on this. I'm
Yeah.
excited to watch this weekend and see how that plays out.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. Well, I got a little something for you here.
We'll bring it on.
I got a little something. You know what that means?
Lightning round.
Freaking lightning round, man. All right. Here we go. Let me pull it up here. I got on the old socials and I pulled off a lightning round. Sorry. Okay. All right, man. I got a little lightning round for you. Okay. Okay. So here we go. This week, Jordan, do you start Lad McConkey or Romeo Dobbs?
Or Romeo Don. I I play Lad McConkey. Lad
That is
McConkey.
that is the correct answer.
He's just doing better. He's the wide receiver one there. He's the one that you want to go with. On the lightning round, CJ, Rico Dowdle, or Abdullah. Tough choice. I probably would say Abdullah has the better upside, even though Rico Dowdle is obviously the clear number one in that team. Abdullah, I think, has a chance to be the number one over there, and I just think that the Cowboys are. I mean, I guess the Raiders aren't much better, but I just think uh, he hasn't done anything all year long. So take the guy who might have a chance to do something.
Appreciate it, CJ. I think pretty sure you're the same CJ we saw on TikTok. So appreciate you jumping over on YouTube and joining in. Ask us any other questions. Just got a couple more questions here for Jordan, though. All right. So who are you going to start this week? Juwan Jennings or Jalen Waddle?
Juwan Jennings, 100%. I honestly, you could ask me to take a random receiver off free agency, and I'd probably take them over Jalen Waddle at this point. So, yeah, no, I definitely take Juwan Jennings. I mean, he's the guy that they're going to right now. So I take Juwan Jennings all day.
Okay. How about Marvin Harrison Jr. or Jameson Williams?
Wow, that's a tough one. I'd probably go with Marvin Harrison Jr. I just think, that you just never know with Jared Goff. He's throwing 5 picks or he's throwing 5 tutties. You just don't know which game he's going to get. So I think I trust the other more. But yeah, great question.
Yeah, divisional game with 49ers. So,
Yeah.
or sorry, with Seattle. So they're
Yeah.
in Seattle. That's going to be,
Could
I'm
be a
excited to
shootout.
watch that game.
Could be a shootout.
All right, this is a tough one, and I think this is a question someone probably has out there: Jacoby Myers or Keenan Allen?
Dang, I don't want to go with you. Why you gotta set me up to go with 2 Raiders the same day? Like that sucks. Like I don't want to. I never want to choose 2 Raiders in the same day. But I guess I'll go with Jacoby Myers. He's the number one receiver there. He's had a lot better targets, and he's shown that he's actually pretty good when it comes to having everyone on that, having not Amari Cooper, Devontae Adams traded to a different team. So
Okay. Well, yeah, I put that one in there just to see if you would go against my sleeper, and you did. So
I did. Sorry.
no, that was a good test, a good lightning round.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you guys joining in this week. We're really excited about what's going on here at JD Fantasy Football. Getting to the end of a fantasy football season. The playoffs are coming up. I hope you stay with us. Catch us on YouTube, catch us on TikTok, catch us on Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, wherever you can find us. Feel free to reach out. We'll answer your questions. Make sure you like and subscribe. But yeah, we'll catch you next time.
Peace.
Let me get the start sit graphic up there. Dude, that TikTok experience, that was sick.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Dude, that was coming at me so fast. That was coming at me real fast.
I was ready to go.
I know,
answering
man.
questions as they were coming up. I'm like, this is where it's at.
And that's what I want to help moderate. I want to help you catch them all. That's what that's what I want to do. I don't want to be out on an island.
Yeah, just gunslinging. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go.
Okay. There we go. How about CJ coming over from TikTok over here to catch us on YouTube, though?
Yeah, that's nice. Thank you, CJ. We really appreciate your support.
He's gone now.
Yeah. Doesn't look like we had too many questions today, but I'm excited to go to TikTok. So
yeah, I'm gonna put in the time the next 2 days to get. Monday night we should be able to get both of us live. Even if you wanted to hop in for 20, 30 minutes, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun too.
So, and I'll try to figure out the broadcast for next week.
Okay.
It's looking good though, man. What's going on over there? You said you had in-laws in town?
Yeah, my wife's brothers are here and their significant others and kids. So it's been fun. We've had the kids been playing around. We've been playing games, joking around. We went to a brewery. So yeah, it's been a blast.
Cool. Where are you guys watching the games this week? Just there at the house?
Right here. So, what about yourself?
I'll be working this weekend. So
Watching the games from the.
It's tough, man. It's tough, especially when it's busy. To get all
but it's almost nice. Get your mind off it, and then you come back and like, what's the update? So.
Yeah, I used to. I don't know. Now that I follow fantasy so closely, I don't necessarily watch all the action like I used to. I used to get behind in games and then just finish the game. But now that I'm watching fantasy so much, I'm just like, what happened?
Yeah. I know more of what. Well, I have the ticket, so I just put it on 4 screens, 4 on a time. Switch between sound.
So. Yeah, when it's real slow at work, I'll prop up an iPad and
get a chance to watch a game.
Get that red zone going. I love that red zone.
Yeah, red zone's fun.
7 hours of commercial-free football.
That's what I'm talking about. It's my favorite.
Yeah, but YouTube, man, I finally, I may have cracked the code on YouTube. Had 500 views on a video today.
Nice.
So
that's what I'm talking about.
Just slowly chipping away. Yeah.
Well, all right, man. Well, I don't think any other questions are coming in here.
I appreciate you taking the time and doing this tonight, man.
Yeah, this was fun. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.